No, not there, my father-in-law said, tapping the edge of the table with his ring. Staff enters from the back. Laughter slid across the room like cutlery scraping porcelain. Someone cleared their throat. Someone else pretended to check their phone. I stood still, holding a tray of untouched glasses, the crystal chiming softly as my hand tightened. My name is Elena Brooks. I'm 32. When does love quietly turn into permission to humiliate someone? The dining room smelled like expensive wine and polished wood. A wall of mirrors reflected chandeliers and smiles that didn't quite reach the eyes. In one mirror I caught my own reflection, too still, too composed, like a painting someone forgot to hang properly. Pour for the guests, he added, not even looking at me. You'll be useful. My husband didn't meet my eyes. His mother adjusted her scarf and whispered to a woman I didn't know. A guest murmured, awkward, like it was entertainment. As I moved behind the chairs, heels sinking into the carpet, I noticed something strange. My father-in-law's laugh was loud, but his hand trembled when he lifted his glass. Just slightly, like a crack in marble. The mirror showed him smiling. The mirror showed me smiling back. And in that moment something inside me went very quiet. Not broken. Not angry. Just awake. I poured the wine slowly, letting the silence stretch. The room filled with the sound of liquid meeting glass, a soft obedient noise. Every pour felt like punctuation. Periods at the end of sentences no one dared to finish. Careful, one of his friends said lightly, that bottle costs more than some people's rent. My father-in-law chuckled. She's used to cheap things. I nodded as if accepting instructions. My fingers brushed the cold stemware, grounding me. In the mirror across the room I watched him watch himself. His posture proud, his voice theatrical. He loved mirrors. Loved proof. When I reached his seat he didn't thank me. He slid his empty plate toward me instead. Kitchen's that way, he said, gesturing behind him. Habit, you know. My husband shifted. Not enough to stop it. Just enough to pretend discomfort later. As I turned, my phone vibrated in my pocket. One short pulse. Then another. I didn't look. I already knew who it was from. Earlier that afternoon, standing in this same house, I'd noticed a thin stack of unopened mail on a side table. Bank logos. Red ink peeking through white envelopes like a warning trying to stay polite. Debt always whispers before it screams. I placed the plate down gently. Too gently. The mirror caught my eyes again. They weren't hurt anymore. They were measuring. I stepped into the hallway, the noise of the dinner muffling behind the heavy door. The house changed there. No laughter. No music. Just the low hum of climate control and the faint ticking of a clock that sounded impatient. I set the plate on the counter and finally checked my phone. Call me when you're ready. 3 minutes old. My father-in-law's voice floated through the door. Some people marry up, he was saying. It's charity, really. More laughter. Thinner this time. I leaned against the counter. The marble was cool, steady. I remembered another kitchen years ago. My mother counting coins under a flickering bulb, telling me, never let anyone rush you when money is involved. That memory felt like a hand on my back now. Thought. Present. My phone vibrated again. I answered without speaking. Do you want the short version or the clean one? The voice asked. Clean, I whispered. There was a pause. Papers rustling. The holding bank is exposed. Badly. He's leveraged everything on appearances. Properties, memberships, that little foundation he loves to mention. One pull and the thread comes out. I closed my eyes. Through the door I heard my name used as a joke. When? I asked. Whenever you say. I looked at my reflection in the darkened microwave door. The woman staring back looked calm. Almost kind. Not yet, I said. I want him to finish his cake. The candles were already lit when I walked back in. Thin flames standing at attention. Everyone applauded as if timing itself had been rehearsed. Ah, there she is, my father-in-law said. See? Efficient. I placed the plate beside him and stepped back into my place near the wall. The mirror caught me again. The scarf his wife wore, silk pale blue, hung crooked at her neck. I noticed small things now. The way his smile faltered between claps. The way one guest kept checking the door like he wanted to leave before dessert. Make a wish, someone urged him. He closed his eyes. For a second his face looked older. Tired. Then he blew out the candles in one breath. Smoke curled upward, lazy and gray, dissolving into the chandelier light. My phone buzzed. Once. I didn't reach for it. Speech, a guest demanded. He stood raising his glass. To legacy, he said. To knowing your place. And to family, who should remember where they come from. His eyes flicked to me. Just a flicker. Enough. I felt something shift inside my chest. Not pain. Alignment. Like two puzzle pieces finally locking together. I stepped forward just slightly. Hey, I asked softly. The room went still. Surprised. Curious. He nodded, indulgent. Of course. I smiled, the kind that shows no teeth. I just wanted to say thank you. For tonight. His eyebrows lifted. The mirror showed him pleased. My phone vibrated again. This time I answered. Yes, I said. Now. Nothing changed at first. That was the beautiful part. The guests kept sipping. Someone laughed too loudly. A fork clinked against china. My father-in-law leaned back in his chair, satisfied, like a man certain the world was arranged correctly beneath him. I felt my phone warm in my palm. A quiet confirmation. No fireworks. No announcement. Just a door closing somewhere far away. His wife leaned toward him and whispered something. He frowned, waved her off. Later, he muttered. The mirror showed a crease forming between his brows, deepening as another vibration rattled his phone on the table. He ignored it. A man at the far end cleared his throat. Richard, he said carefully, is everything all right with Meridian? The name landed heavy. Too heavy. My father-in-law's smile froze. Of course, he said. Why wouldn't it be? The man hesitated. I just got an alert. Credit line review. Immediate. Silence spread thick and awkward. Even the candles seemed to burn quieter. Richard picked up his phone now, scrolling, color draining from his face in small, precise increments. That's impossible, he said. I was assured. Another buzz. Then another. Across the table, someone gently set their glass down. You might want to check your email. I watched his reflection in the mirror as certainty cracked. Not shattered. Cracked. And for the first time that night he looked at me not as staff, but as a variable. He stood up too quickly. The chair scraped the floor loud enough to make everyone flinch. His wife reached for his arm. He shook her off without looking. Excuse me, he said, forcing a laugh. Business. He stepped away from the table, phone pressed to his ear now, voice dropping into something sharp and unfamiliar. The room tried to recover. Someone commented on the cake. Someone else asked for coffee. No one touched their fork. I stayed where I was. From the corner of my eye, I watched him pace near the window. His free hand kept smoothing his jacket over and over like he was erasing something invisible. The mirror caught fragments of his reflection. Jaw tight, smile gone, eyes darting. This is a mistake, he hissed into the phone. I want names. Pause. Then his shoulders sagged just a fraction. No, I don't need liquidity, he snapped. I need time. Time. The one thing debt never gives. My husband finally looked at me then. Really looked. His mouth opened, closed. Elena, what's going on? I met his eyes. Calm. Level. Dinner, I said. Didn't you enjoy it? Behind us, Richard ended the call and slowly turned back toward the table. His gaze landed on me, searching now. Calculating. The mirror showed it clearly. He knew something had shifted, but he just didn't know how much. He didn't sit back down. Instead, he walked toward me, stopping just close enough to invade space without touching. The room fell into a practiced quiet, the kind wealthy people use when they sense danger but don't want to name it. You, he said softly. Not my name. Just a pronoun. Did you do something? I could smell his cologne now. Expensive. Desperate. I tilted my head as if considering the question. Behind him, the mirror framed us together, his face tight, mine still. The chair beside me looked like it was waiting, patient and observant. Do what? I asked. His phone buzzed again. He didn't look this time. He already knew. His wife stood, hands clasped, whispering, Richard, please, like manners could still save him. One of the guests gathered her purse. Another checked his watch. Quiet exits. Social instinct kicking in. You should be careful, Richard said, lowering his voice. You don't understand how things work. I smiled, small and polite. You taught me, I said. Remember? About knowing your place. That landed. His eyes flicked to my phone. Then to the mirror. For the first time he saw himself the way others did. Overextended. Exposed. I stepped back, giving him space. Dignity offered once. My lawyer will be in touch, I added gently. The room exhaled. No one spoke. And Richard finally understood. This wasn't a scene. It was a conclusion forming. The dinner ended without ceremony. No goodbyes. No laughter. Just chairs sliding back and guests leaving in careful pairs, like witnesses who didn't want to be called later. Richard didn't stop me as I reached the door. He stood by the table, hands flat against the wood, staring at the burned wicks of the candles. Smoke still lingered, faint and bitter. Legacy evaporating. A week later the silence did the work. The foundation quietly dissolved. The memberships were under review. Properties moved into receivership with language so polite it felt cruel. There was no headline. No scandal. Just absence. Invitations that never came. Calls that went unanswered. I never raised my voice. Never explained myself. The bank sent a letter. Simple. Formal. Ownership transfer confirmed. My husband read it twice. Then a third time. He didn't ask me why. He asked me if I was tired. I thought about the mirror in that dining room. About the girl who learned early to count coins and wait. About the woman who learned to listen when debt whispered. I'm fine, I said. Months later, Richard passed me at a charity event. Smaller now. Quieter. He nodded, unsure if he was allowed to speak. I nodded back. Nothing more. Clarity doesn't shout. It stands still and lets the truth walk around it.